best of 2. Map number 1 will be held on Catalyst, as we have to the bottom right-hand side of the map our blue Zerg player. It is from Storm Gaming, JonSnow. And he's going up against the red Terran player to the top left-hand side of the map. It is, of course, KeeN, our resident Terran from Korea, who really does play so often in so many of these events. He's an online machine, and he's been an online machine day in, day out, for what feels like years now, and he will play any tournament. He'll play on Europe, he'll play on America, obviously he'll play on Korea. I mean, Europe's the big one, right? Playing on Europe is like 300 plus ping for Koreans, and yet he will play there. He'll qualify for events on there, he will take invites for events on there, he will play in anything he can. He is really one of the online machines. He's very similar to, I guess, Billowy was the same for quite some time. Billowy was also for a while doing all of the, was doing the whole thing where he was basically playing everything. He's kind of like the Bly from Korea, because Bly plays pretty much everything online as well, even if sometimes it is on Korea as well. So yeah, how exciting. What's up, Duddles, my friend, coming in with the 9-month resub, one of our newest mods on the stream. Coming in with the 9 months, our sub baby's finally here. Thank you so much. I see some love in the chat, please, for Duddles. We should burn the balloons? I don't know if that's safe. I don't know if we're actually allowed to burn the balloons. Gotta read out the names as we sacrifice it on the altar? Maybe. I was just so scared of popping them, though. I don't like popping. I don't know what I thought I was gonna do with them. You know? I don't know what I thought I was gonna do with them. I might just wait for them all to... You know how balloons fizzle out? Not fizzle out, but like... They like shrivel up a little bit? Maybe I'll just wait for them all to shrivel up a bit and then just put them in one big bag in the bin or something, you know? Anyways, let's see how this is going. KeeN versus JonSnow, map number 1 on Catalyst. And so far, so good. A couple of things worth noting is that JonSnow is still mining gas, and well, there you go. That may very well be why. He throws down the Roach-Roaring here already in the back of this mineral line. So, Roach-Roaring will be placed as KeeN just beginning to expand. Obviously, he actually put an extractor down here because I guess the Reaper was delaying him. So, he at least wants to fake out a third base, but we'll see if he actually wants to build this at all. Okay, that's a little bit of a mistake, letting this extractor finish. That's definitely not how you would like to do these things, as we're going to be having these couple of lings going to continue up towards the upper left side. And well, the Reaper went back home, so these lings aren't going to be able to do much on their own, but the Reaper going back home means he didn't really even see too much. He saw JonSnow trying to take a third hatchery, and while he was trying to take a third hatchery, he didn't actually want to take the third hatchery, and so the Roach-Roar and the gas, none of this was figured out. And that's going to be pretty rough here, as we're going to see a few lings from JonSnow coming across. Link speed about to finish, so you can apply some pressure, but it's the Roaches that are obviously going to be the big pushing point of this, as KeeN currently making Hellions. If those lings can keep the Hellions pinned back as well, it's just going to continue to hide the fact that there's going to be Roaches coming across the map, and so KeeN will have very little time to prepare. Right now, he is still just making Hellions with no other defenses coming into position. We see a Liberator on the way up on the main base, so this Liberator on the way out here, and at the same time, a few more Zerglings around the top side for JonSnow. They're going to run on in, and okay, Hellions are going to get roasted, and JonSnow is going to get pushed back away. Over to the right-hand side, a Reaper and 2 more Hellions down the left, and they are going to keep on chasing those Zerglings. And JonSnow going to be chased all the way to the left-hand corner. And as we do see Roaches coming up through the center, and they're about to arrive. And again, so far KeeN's just got no idea about it. He sees for the first time here, I feel, these Roaches. And he's a little bit slow to respond with those Hellions pulling back a little bit. And we've seen these Roaches are going to continue to move on forwards. And they're going to be trying to get up this ramp and try and do a little bit more Roaches. And now Ravager Corrosive Violent as well. Actually, I think he Corrosive Violent his own Roach there. But the Liberator might be able to help defend here, and he will pick off one of these Roaches, but more of the Hellions are going to be in a little bit of trouble. And we're going to be seeing... the Liberator definitely is a good part of this, but... I was going to say maybe JonSnow can Corrosive Violent down. He's only going to have 2 Ravagers. You need more than 2 Ravagers to battle down a Liberator. You need 3 Ravager shots, which is why the first battles don't really do too much. Another Liberator will come out and siege up. I guess he could maybe just run on in though with the Lings and Roaches, just get past the Liberators, and then honestly, he'd have a pretty good time. The Liberator being repaired up is having just a fine time right now. As that Cyclone locks onto the Overlord once again, and Lings, Ravagers, and Roaches once more from JonSnow going to come back through the center of the map. Overlord is taking quite a beating, as we're going to be seeing JonSnow just... Well, he's actually not really even made that many more drones behind this. He's looking as though he wants to continue being aggressive. As we do see some drones jumping into the extractor. Is that too many? No, it's 3. For a moment there, it looked as though it was like 4 or 5. I was like, what? But no, it's just me seeing it wrong. As well, Liberators actually move forwards here, which means it's a little bit easier for the Roaches to run past them. The Lings have already ran through, and we're going to be seeing those Lings while chasing back a whole bunch of these units. Corrosive Bowels will come down as the Ravagers move through, but now the Libs are out of position. There's actually triple Ravager now, so you will actually be able to get kills on these Liberators, although they relocate for now. Up into the main base, the Liberators are sieging again. They will be able to pick off those Ravagers, which is fantastic. One Libra goes down, but there's just nothing to deal with the rest of this. Okay, a Banshee is about to pop out, but is it going to be able to do enough here? I mean, these Lings are going to do so much before this Banshee is able to clean on up, and Ravager getting cancelled as well. Just tries to wolf in, so I mean, again, KeeN is starting to clean up, but again, how much is he going to lose before this is actually all said and done? Corrosive Bars get rid of another Liberator, giving this Ravager or two kind of a freedom to kind of come back to the low ground. Another Cyclone pops out, and these two Ravagers need to try and do a little bit more. Lings are just picking their way through depots over here, and reinforcing Lings are still on the natural. KeeN is down to just 11 SCVs at the moment, and he's going to lose more because, again, that Banshee's just not going to clean up enough of this fast enough, and we're going to be seeing every single worker going down, and that's the sort of damage you just don't really recover from. Even if this eventually gets cleaned up, what do? You're not... Fantastic little build, nice and quick, aggressive, and wins it, picks it up just like that. As to the bottom right-hand side, he's going to be our Blue Zerg player from Sidestorm Gaming on Abyssal Reef, JonSnow. He's going to be against the Red Terran player to the top left-hand side. Can we give it up for KeeN? Let's see what he can come up with here. As we kick this off into game number 2, we get this a-rolling, and we look to see where we're going to go. I have to take it a little bit easy today, because right now, somewhat surprisingly, right now my throat is kind of okay. After yesterday's marathon cast, my throat's kind of okay right now, so I'm feeling okay, I'm feeling alright. It's not so bad, but oh my god, like, oh my god, like, I can feel that maybe if we keep on going a bit too crazy, we might have some voice issues in the next couple of days. As we do see this Overlord coming through the center, and going in towards the upper left to get things started here for game number 2 of this matchup. Reaper on the way out at the moment here from KeeN. And we're just going to be seeing the SCV currently from KeeN, patrolling down on the low ground. What's up, Foster? How you doing? Duttles in the chat's doing great as well. How am I? I'm fantastic. Great stream yesterday, but then I actually got the pleasure of sleeping today, which was also pretty awesome. I just got to sleep until I I did. I got to sleep until I wanted to. I didn't have to wake up for anything, and then when I did wake up, I had some good food and just chilled out, and now here we are with even more great StarCraft. It's like the makings of the perfect day. Honestly, it really is. What gets me even more excited is this is just the start of what's going to be a fantastic week of StarCraft 2. Tomorrow we're going to be bringing you guys action from the OSC Championship Playoffs, as we mentioned, but also we're going to be bringing you guys matches in the evening from Go for SC2 Monthly Finals. On Wednesday, we're going to be bringing you guys the Yost Star League Group A, which is a Swiss tournament. We're also going to be bringing you guys Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday the OSC Championship Bracket. But not only that, we're also going to be bringing you guys the WESG APAC Regional Finals, which means that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are all going to be long 16+ hour streams. Hopefully that sounds great to you guys, because it sounds freaking good to me. It's a lot of StarCraft 2. It's going to be great. I'm already looking forward to it. Drones is mining away here from JonSnow to get started in this game number 2. His hatchery came up, his third hatch is building in this game. Well, you'll notice the distinct lack of a Roach Roaring in comparison to game number 1. He's not going to be as aggressive, he's not going to go and attack early. Abyssal Reef's a map where some players like to Roach attack for quite a while, but it is a little bit bigger than Catalyst, it doesn't hit as soon. I guess a lot of people on Abyssal Reef like to pressure with the Roach Ravager play and slow the Terran player down a lot from getting into this map, which actually sets up very nicely into 4 bases and, you know, kind of the freedom to just build however they would like to. So it's pretty interesting as we do get set up now into this first game. Sorry, there's a bit of blue tack stuck in my mouse, which is why I suddenly scrolled in and just stopped moving the mouse around for a moment, so apologies for that. We're going to see this Reaper moving in towards the third base, as we're going to be seeing the Zerglings just sat towards the natural. A few Hellions just sat out the front as well. KeeN with the opportunity to maybe dive in with those in the near future and try and find some damage, but so far a couple of Queens are in position. Those couple of Queens are going to be able to push those Hellions back. So Hellions push back into the middle of the map. And meanwhile, a couple of Zerglings from JonSnow just going to come through the top side. And they're going to be able to come on in and maybe try and poke and prod a little bit further. Bane Nest comes on up as well from JonSnow. The lair is just over halfway done. It's a fairly fast lair, but we are seeing Zerg players in general just going into the lair faster and quicker and just so quickly nowadays. It's really kind of true. Like, it's crazy how often we're seeing this lair coming down so fast. As we'll see this factory moving away from the reactor to only build another one. Looks as though we're going to be seeing the bio play. A stim has started up, and this reactor here, very distinctive of going in towards the 2 extra racks and just reactoring them up so that you have 5 Marines producing at a time off of the 2 bases. And then from this sort of setup, you generally go into the double engineering bay, the 3rd CC. In fact, there's the 3rd CC already up. So it's actually quite a fast 3rd CC in all honesty, going into the 3 CC already now. And then from here, he will go into the 2 extra racks, and then of course the double engineering bay. Up to 5 racks in total. Very standard bio TvZ so far. A little bit of a Banshee poke across the map as well coming into. It's actually the second Banshee. The first one has already arrived. It's starting to pick away at a little bit of a couple of bits and pieces here. You know, a couple of drones starting to go down, and Overseer comes in. That's one of the benefits of the fast lair. Something like the Banshee attack, you're not going to be thoroughly reliant on spore crawlers. You can just get a Overseer up, and you can use that to move around with the Queens and to move where you need it to be to deal with that Banshee at any moment in time. See Hellions diving towards the natural, and oh my god, those drones are already lining up a little bit. That's 4 workers killed already as more Zerglings coming through, and they are going to get some nice rounds actually, so the Hellions do end up dropping. They drop pretty quickly honestly, as we see now the melee upgrades from JonSnow, so he's actually pretty even with the upgrades of his opponent. It's good defense. He hasn't taken any real damage here right from the get-go, and that's very important to take note of, not taking damage early. Very nicely done, as we see the Hydralisk Den now dropping down as well from our Zerg player. So a Hydralisk Den coming into play. You see these Banshees are continuing to do a little bit more damage, picking and chipping their way through a few Zerglings. Still 2 of them up, kept both of them alive so far, hasn't lost them yet. I mean, obviously they're damaged, but just keeping on the map, surprising what you can actually find in terms of use for Banshees throughout the course of a game. Just gonna have the Hellions, Marines gathering together at home. I actually built a couple more Hellions than I thought he would. Usually you just go, especially with this faster 3 CC, just go in towards the 4 Hellions. 6 isn't too odd, but maybe if you go 6 you'd expect something like a Hellbat attack into it. Anyways, KeeN not skipping a beat right now as we see this armory coming up, and that's going to be about halfway done in a moment or two as we'll 1-1 upgrades from KeeN. Going to continue to come along as well. Skill Augments currently on the way out as well right now for JonSnow, so yeah, instead of into that as we're going to be seeing these Marines trying for one of the Queens, doesn't quite find it there as we're going to see Lean Bane continue to come forwards and will be able to push those couple of medevacs away into the center of the map once again. A little bit more of this Lean Bane continue to move around here, and we are just going to be seeing, again, 5 more Hydralisks on the way up. Infestation Pit is continuing to come into position. And that's just going to be JonSnow allowing himself to get up into the hive tech nice and quickly. Another tank and a few more Marines continue to come on up right now as we're going to be seeing another set of drones just coming on up. +2 melee and +2 carapace currently building here. And a few more Marines just going to drop down on the other side of the rocks. There is a lot of creep tumors which can be cleaned out as well. So that's a lot of creep down the right and up the center. That could be picked away at in the next few moments. More medevac's going to unload here. Just going to be dropping down. Again, just the double drops, and at this stage you'll probably keep on dropping around the map until you get to the point. Until you get to the point where basically 2-2 finishes, and if 2-2 does finish, then you can sort of push with the big army. And that's the big push which you try and build up in towards, that you try and commit for. As you're going to see these Marines actually going to step this ramp, and I'm going to see an Overlord actually gets picked away out here. You're going to see these medevacs loading up a few Marines and backing away over the left hand side. So medevac's staying alive for now, dropping into the main base as well, but JonSnow is now going to start picking up kills. The Hydras obviously help out a lot with that at the moment. The Marine's going to be dropping in towards the natural expansion once again. Another couple of Hydralisks are going to be picked off here. As more Lings, more Banes continue to come through, and the medevacs getting picked away at too. They will be pushed back now, so the medevac getting pushed away, and we're just going to be seeing again more Lings, Banes, and Hydras Coming up through the center of the map, an extra set of barracks coming up. Obviously, JonSnow is going to be very powerful very soon, so KeeN needs to make sure you can reproduce nice and quickly and keep on fighting, as we are going to have just such a kind of a powerful army, honestly. Still the Banshees from earlier in the game, but the 5 tanks already will go a long way to helping out against the pushing power of those Hydras. Is it too late for KeeN? These 2-2 upgrades, you know, Terrans used to always try and hit on this 2-2 timer, but nowadays, sometimes it just feels as though it's too late because of the fact that we see these Vipers coming on up, and if the Vipers continue to come on into play so quickly, the tank pushes really don't do so well, and so this is the issue. Zerg's just getting so good, and because of almost the safety of the Hydras give them that kind of safety layer that they never used to have with Ling Bay Muta, for example. The Hydras give them that safety layer to go up to Hive a little bit faster, because they're just a little bit sturdier on the ground in fights. And if they're that little bit sturdier on the ground, you can get Hive faster, and therefore you get your tech out a bit faster to deal with early pushes. This game, KeeN doesn't end up attacking though, which works out well for him, because if he did attack into a couple of Vipers, he might just get cleaned up a little bit too easily. So he's also kind of turned away from dropping now, which I don't mind too much either. I mean, there's a good spread of units from JonSnow. He wasn't really taking damage to any of that at all. Tank siege is up, and we are going to be seeing Marines continue to work their way through the rocks currently, as he wants to break through. So now he does want to try and access this position. It's a little bit of a later push, which he hasn't really gained much with. I guess we'll see how this goes. We're going to see those Marines continue to attack onto those rocks. Vipers are going to abduct a couple of tanks already up to this high ground. Marines going to continue to push on forwards, and tanks still firing away. We've seen another little bit of damage being done in the next few moments as Marines will stim once again, and we're going to see some banelings going off, but not too much just yet. A little bit of a stim forwards, and we are going to be seeing the Ling Bane now going to have to come in once more. The Vipers actually abducting the Liberator, which takes it out of position, takes it out of siege mode, allowing the Zerg to take even less damage as it comes on through and continue to push on forwards. A couple of blind clouds were good, but the back tanks are still there, and those back tanks will still rain havoc on this Zerg army if given the opportunity. Tanks will unsiege, and they will come forwards with the rest of the bio now, and even more units of KeeN coming through the center also. Hydra is going to turn around. They're going to start fighting this as well. Going to see a siege tank already. Going to get picked off. Another couple of medevacs going down. So one of the big things I think that's happened for JonSnow so far, the medevacs have just gone down, and he's been picking those off thoroughly, and so it makes it difficult for KeeN to justify continuing to push, or every time he stims, it's permanent damage. The tank line is still scary though, and it's what JonSnow can't really keep on pushing right now, although with these Vipers coming back into play, a couple of abducts forwards may very well be possible once again. 2 more Zerglings getting just stomped by the tank shot. There's a couple of Ultras now starting to come out into play also. So 2 more Ultras going to be popping out in just the next couple of moments. 2 Liberators of KeeN going to move forwards, and as these Liberators of KeeN move on forwards, they do siege up. As they siege, well, here we go. We're going to see Lingers and Hydras running forwards. We're going to be seeing Libs getting picked away up pretty quickly again, pulled out of position. This Ultra, bro, there isn't a ramp over here. What are you trying to do? You can't attack down the side. Maybe it was just waiting for that abduct, but that was kind of a little bit amusing. Transfusion's keeping a lot of these Ultras alive for a very long time and making sure that this is a very efficient trade from our Zerg, who just push KeeN away. And KeeN going to be pushed back in towards the center of the map. Some Marines Marauders getting pushed back in towards the center here as we see the +1 missile upgrade on the way up here as well now from our Zerg. So he's actually going into, some just he went melee upgrades early while playing a Hydra style. Some players still like to play melee, some players actually do upgrade the Hydras from the get-go. It makes, I guess, the mid-game pushes a lot easier to try and push back, because you are going to be very much so kind of relied more so on the Hydra damage output than the Ling Bane, etc. You do have Hydras, Lings, Ultras gathering up in the center, and a couple of Zerglings going to come back around over to the right as well. So Marines and Marauders will stim once more. Going forward, so you're going to see a Creep Tumor being picked off, and another Creep Tumor being picked away at. And these guys going to keep on coming forwards anyway, so here we go, Lings, Ultras, coming on in, and we are going to be seeing the Lings going to loop around the back, force around here potentially in the next couple of moments. Still a lot of Ultras pushing forwards as well. The Blinding Cloud on a couple of these siege tanks, and here we go. Really could be a very scary push for KeeN to hold off. Libs are sieging them. There's a planetary fortress here as well. The bio continues to kite back, and these Ultras are starting to drop. There's not many Hydras behind this either, and we are going to see JonSnow is pushed away, although it does still come out with a healthy supply lead. I love that. Target fire is already queued up on the drones beyond this Queen kill. which is nice as well, as a few more Zerglings going to run on in, and they pick off those Marines also. Marauders still picking away, chunking away Ultras, honestly, so far. Another stim or two, and I imagine those Queens will continue to take some more damage as well. Queens continue to drop here. That Hydras gets picked off also. Nicely done, as we see the 5 command centers here from KeeN. I mean, that's the power of Abyssal Reef. It's very difficult to attack into the Terran player because all 5 of his bases are so easily defended out front of his third, etc. That defense comes much more easily than you might expect it to. As we have this Bio Army now coming down to the south side once again. Some Zerglings going to come to the left. Small run by here from JonSnow, nothing too major. Oh, he's going to get surrounded on this, but there's no kind of follow-up to clean up the Medivacs. One single Hydralisk, believe it or not, does not manage to take down those Medivacs too quickly at all. So Medivacs coming back up to the top side, Lings and Ultralisks gathering up down towards the 5th base, and we are going to be seeing the 3rd set of upgrades coming through for the Terran player as well, getting in for the Zerg player as well. It's something the Terran player has an advantage, you know, being able to finish their upgrades thoroughly throughout the game much earlier, and it gives them a lot more pushing power, but it means that KeeN, when those upgrades finish for JonSnow, KeeN will now lose a lot of his pushing power that's helped him out in some of these fights, and he's barely been hanging on anyway for an upgrade lead. Imagine the difference when JonSnow's army becomes even tankier, deals even more damage. It's going to be freaking scary. Corruptor production has begun as well. The Spire came up just not long ago, and so Corruptor's on the way out just to help fight against the Liberators, maybe pick off another couple of Medivacs, especially if the Hydra count isn't really here anymore. You need some sort of anti-air to help out against some of those units. You need to get rid of them somehow, right? I mean, abducting them out of siege mode is nice, but you need to at some point be able to actually kill them. JonSnow attacking through once again. We're going to be seeing this entire army of JonSnow pushing through with power. Another great blind cloud on top of a couple of siege tanks. Those tanks just continue to drop. There's a couple of libs once more, and again, I wonder if there just maybe isn't enough anti-air just yet to deal with that, as the Corruptor count continues to rise. Behind us, we're going to be seeing a couple of starports being dropped down. And the Ghost Academy just finished up as well, as JonSnow's really trying to break this planetary, and he will get the kill. Lost an Ultra or two in the process, though, and he's still going to lose this one as well, and maybe even more. It's kind of hard to say, because it's just Marines from the low ground. He's actually just going to lift those up and bring them to the high ground, as these couple of Ultras continue to move on through back into the center of the map. Again, Corruptors continue to gather together just up in the skies, the Ultras, the Lings. Seeing what they can do next as well. KeeN goes over to the left with this Medivac also. Still poking at the front. Lings and Bane's going to continue to push on forwards. Corruptors continue to come in as well, looking to try and pick off those Medivacs. And that's the scary thing for KeeN. Like, every single time he's fighting right now, it seems as though he's just losing tech units. He's never gotten up to like a scary massive Liberator, a scary massive Ghost or anything like that. Never abduct on a Liberator here will help to pick it off. And, you know, you look at this army, and that's what I mean. Like, it's the perfect example of just not having any of the tech units survive in any of these fights. There's just no Medivacs anymore. There's no Liberators anymore. And that's the issue. Like, pure bio doesn't really win out in a fight like this. You can see a drop to the south side is going to start being cleaned up here by JonSnow. He's really starting to secure himself a strong position in this game number 2. We're just going to be coming back over and towards this position here again. Still just looking to see maybe what they can get up to. For a moment or so, we have just a little bit of calmness here. A little bit of quiet, a little bit of a moment just to recoup, regain. And again, I really do feel it's one of those positions where JonSnow can really benefit from this a little bit, but also KeeN can really benefit from this as well. Just sitting down, throwing down liberation zones, just building up the Liberator count in general, getting advanced ballistics. He had the Ghost Academy, right? But he's not put it to use just yet. He isn't adding any ghosts in, probably because he's not really that rich at all. He's been spending so much money rebuilding that he hasn't really been able to afford the Ghost count, which we saw, for example, yesterday in Beyond vs. Raynor, becoming a very key part of the later stages of the game. Lings in the center here, going to be still just moving around with the army, and JonSnow still just really still just sitting back and waiting to see what's going on. Don't have a delay. We do have a delay. It's a 2-minute delay today, guys. As we do see the Corruptors coming on through in towards the center. Liberator's on the way up. Mobius Reactor coming through as well. And those tanks all siege just down towards this orbital, as we do see Zerglings going to come up the left and again try and run on by in towards this third base perhaps, but well, there's already a little bit of a wall off here. Marines behind it, keeping it very, very strong, a very solid position. Again, the Zerglings continue to try and work their way through this supply depot. Marines going to pick up a chunk of kills there. So Marines picking up a chunk of kills. Ultras, Banes, Corruptors continue to come down back towards this central position as well. Coming all the way down here, and I'm going to see the Liberator sieging up as well. Is going to be finding a way at a chunk of those drones too. So a few drones going down, and you're going to see some extra ghosts on the way out as well. So much coming up the left. So finally getting towards the ghost play really does make this a better position here for KeeN. I mean, finally he's getting into an army which I really feel can do something. A low number of Marines down on this base, as we actually see the medevac goes in towards the main as well, but a couple of Hydras already going to chip away at it. And if he doesn't start to unload right now, which actually didn't matter, medevac just goes down. Yeah, okay, I mean, that gets shut down pretty simply. And now, well, JonSnow also has Brood Lords up, so he's been increasing his own power of his own army as well. As we're going to be seeing those Ultras. Well, these Broods firing away, and it's going to be seeing the Ghosts continuing to take some damage. Corruptors coming up top, Command Center taking some damage, and the Brutes continue to fight. Parasitic Bombs are going to come onto the Vikings already. Or Parasitic Bombs already dropping onto the Vikings. Ultras and Banes are going to keep on moving through. Corruptors are still fighting against this here, as the Ultras are continuing to break on into this position. A lot of KeeN's armies to the south side is maybe going to have to force JonSnow to pull back. But JonSnow overall is definitely the one who's doing the most damage in this. You're going to see this Ghost does manage to run off over to that side. KeeN with more of these units coming through, looking to see what more he can pick away at right now as those Corruptors picking their way through the orbital. Large Bio army is going to start being picked away at now very quickly by Zerglings though. And he gets another hatchery, but there's no follow-up to this anymore from KeeN. He's going to lose everything down on this side. He really already lost everything up here. He's down on only 53 supply, and JonSnow, and he still even has, I guess the Brutals might go down to these Vikings, but, well, I mean, even if they did, so what? There's so much on the ground. Look at this. Lings, etc. streaming through the middle of the map to the point where KeeN is really on his last legs, it feels like. Liberator going down. Vikings are being chased. It's going to be GG. JonSnow taking game number